Today's video, we're going to check out my recent order from Plum Paper. I am hoping to start using these items starting this year, but they are definitely going to be transitioning over to 2023. So if you're interested in seeing these new style planners that I'm going to be using, stay tuned. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Maya, and on my channel, I am posting videos related to my planning system that helps me keep my life organized. And that includes areas such as budgeting, work, health, and fitness, just some areas that I like to keep track of, whether that's with paper planning or digital planning, which I actually will be talking more about that in an upcoming video where I discuss my lineup for 2023. So if you're interested in that, seeing what planner systems I'm going to be using coming into the new year, make sure you're subscribed and turn on that bell notification below so you know when I am posting new content. Okay, y'all, so let's jump into it. I, again, placed this order through Plum Paper. I have ordered from them before. They do have a lot of options as far as planners go, which is one of the things that I love about Plum Paper. And oftentimes when you look at Plum Paper items or you hear from somebody else, the one thing that sticks out is their customization options. Plum Paper has so many different style planners, whether it's coil, punch for disc-bound planners, you can even get unpunched. But one area that I haven't really ventured over to until recently due to my new obsession with book-bound planners are their hand stitch planners that you see here. And so I did order 4 of them during their, I'm going to say, early Black Friday sale. They were just calling it Black Friday, but I ordered it around then. It was 30% off. I couldn't pass up this discount to just try something new and to try something that I think is going to really help out with certain areas of my just overall organization. The layouts and the types of planners themselves are not the only customization option. You can also get the planner covers customized. You can add labels or titles like you see here onto them and make that a customized option as well. So again, lots and lots of options for Plum Paper. And the last time I ordered through them, I was really happy with their products as far as like a notebook. So this is their first time, or this is my first time that I'm actually trying something related to like a planning system of theirs here. Okay, so let's jump into the hand stitch notebooks that I picked out with this order. This is just a card that you got. There's some information about how to win a Plum Paper planner on the back here. This got a little crinkled in the delivery, but overall, I think it's a really pretty color scheme here. Okay, so where should we start? Okay, so I think I'm going to start with the size comparison here. Again, this is from their hand stitch notebook line. There are technically 3 sizes. This is going to be like the small, medium, large size. They aren't quite what I'm used to. So this right here, the small size is very close to an A5, but it's not the A5 dimensions. This one is really close to like, let's say a Happy Planner Classic, but it's just a little bit shorter for it. So it's not dimensions that I'm used to, but I knew roughly around that area what type of planner I wanted in those sizes. Again, doing a lot of research with the information that is on their webpage. So I did get some in the smaller size and in this medium size here. So we're going to actually start with this medium size. So the cover that I decided to choose is one of their winter themes or holiday themes. I really love this contrast with the green and gold. I'm actually really sad that I didn't get anything written on here. Like now that I see how these look here, I kind of wish I had. I just didn't want to break up the print because I knew it was going to eat away here. And I didn't want to take away from like the leaves and the berries. But overall, I think it's a really beautiful cover. The material itself is a cardstock, a really thick cardstock, and I would say it's laminated because it does feel really smooth on the top here, but I don't know if it's waterproof. I want to say most of their covers are, but overall, durability-wise, I think it is a nice durable cover for it. All right, when you open it up on the inside page, you're going to see like a title name page here. So it's going to tell you the type of notebook that you have. It'll say Plum Paper, personalized for you, by you. It'll have some ideas for what you can use this notebook for. And then in this space, you can put your name. This journal belongs to. And then down here it says plumpaper.com, made in the USA. So overall, this page is very, very simple, but I like that it does have a space for your name And it kind of gives you an idea as far as what the purpose is for this notebook here, or journal as they're calling it. So for this first notebook, the layout that I chose is for the meetings journal. This setup is to help with strategizing and organize for effective meetings. And the whole notebook is pretty much the same setup here. So I'll just kind of do a quick flip through, but we're going to go ahead and look at the breakdown for each of these pages here. On the left-hand side, up at the top, it says today's meetings, and then you have a space for your subject, the date and time, where you can circle AM or PM. You also can put the attendees, the location, and if that location was reserved, yes or not available. In the next space, this next group area, this is for your pre-meeting notes. And I love how it has these two columns. So you can have meeting preparation tasks and then your meeting agenda. So what do you need to do beforehand to get ready for your tasks? And what are the topics that you want to talk about before that actual meeting starts? Then you have a post-meeting section. So in this entire bottom section, you have a meeting recap. So a couple of lines where you can put maybe 2 or 3 things that can fit here for overall what happened during the meeting. And then at the bottom, this is the other thing I really love, are the action items. So you can put priorities, you can put a numbering system here, maybe do dots, color code it for priority, put the task, and then the due date for it. And this is really helpful, especially for my type of work here. So I love having this action item section. Over here on this page, on the right-hand side, is just an entire page for dot grid paper. And this is going to be perfect for, let's say, during the meeting, so you can jot down everything that's happening and then maybe transfer anything important over here to this section. So again, the entire notebook is the same layout for it. Now, this particular layout is not new to me. At least not exactly new to me. And I'll kind of show you real quick here. But if you have been on my channel for, man, any part of like this year, for like the past year and a half now, you have definitely seen this planner here on my channel. This is my work planner. The inserts have pretty much been the same, Erin Condren Daily Duo, but one of the inserts that I really love in here are meeting notes. And this particular one is from Cloth and Paper, but I actually started using the Plum paper meeting inserts. And so I can take this out here real quick to show you all. But this was actually the first meeting insert that I had purchased for my A5 system for work. And I did get this in the unpunched version. And then what I did is I just punched it with my A5 hole punch and then cut slits in it for it. But initially it was sold, I want to say, in a pack of 40 that I added to a notebook. So I purchased the notebook unpunched, and this was like an add-on for it. And one of the things that I really loved, again, were the action items here. And then what I did in this space is this is where I kept track of like notes during the meetings. But one of the things that is very different from here, besides the information, is that it's actually double-sided. So it's essentially one meeting per page. And this is working out really well, but as you can see, I did try out some other meeting inserts because I wanted to find something that was really working. But it wasn't until, I want to say, a couple months ago, I saw Tattoo Teacher Plans here on YouTube. I'll leave her link down below so you can check out that video. But she was showing how she had purchased this from Plum Paper. And I was like, yeah, you know, I love the meeting inserts as well. They're really useful. But when she opened up the notebook, I was shocked to see that not only is it a different layout on this side, but you get this entire space for meeting notes. And so instead of having to essentially have this page and then a notebook, which I actually do for work, I have like this out, and then I also have this Erin Condren A5 notebook out for work. And I'll take notes during the meeting, but I'll have this as like a pre-plan, post-plan situation. But now with this notebook setup, I can actually do both of these things in one spot. And I'm absolutely in love with that idea. So as soon as I saw that, I knew once the Black Friday sale came around, I was going to be making my planner purchases. This was an item that I definitely wanted to try out. I'll put them side by side so you can see like different wise, but big differences I would say is the location. You don't get that over here. The meeting notes, as you can see over here, I have pre-meeting with my 2 columns, but in the inserts, you just get dot grid space. And I say inserts, but again, these were actually an add-on to, let's say, the planner or the notebook that you're purchasing here. And then the post-meeting recap and the action items are pretty much the same. So this part right here, having a pre-meeting section and a note section, is definitely going to work out really well for my work tasks. So I'm really excited to have this one here, and I knew this was going to be super helpful. So not only did I purchase it in the medium size, but as you saw earlier, in this meetings one, I actually purchased it in the small size as well. So my plan is this one's going to be like my on the go when I do go into the office, and then this larger one's going to sit on my desk. So everything's pretty much the same with these 2 pages. It's just a little bit less space to write things. The lines are a lot shorter for the smaller version here, but again, pretty much everything, even down to the color, which I am so happy it's this beautiful like teal color and not this green color. No hate on green. I'm actually loving green right now, as you can see, but this particular green wasn't my favorite. So that's probably another reason why I checked out other meeting inserts, because I couldn't stand the green anymore. But this blue here, I absolutely love blues, and this is definitely a little bit easier on the eyes, for at least for me, for this type of insert here. So that is going to be the first type of notebook that I got, which is the meeting one. The other 2 that I got here, and I kind of want to pull them out so that way you can see them all together here. Again, these are all in the smaller size for the notebooks, the hand stitch notebooks, and I decided to get the same design but just change the colors of them. I really love this geometric design, and so this is what it looks like without anything written on the front. And these were the 3 colors that I chose. Definitely my vibes. I love black and white, so this one's probably my favorite. Blue, always a favorite, and then this one was a really pretty gray color, and so just all together, these 3 colors are definitely my jam. And then on the front, I did get a personalization option for the title on here. So you do have a couple of different things that you can customize for your title, including the shape and the type of font that is here. So for me, I just kept it consistent. I went with this hexagon shape and then the same style of font. I don't remember the font style off my top of my head, but if you're interested in knowing that, leave a comment down below and I will make sure to look that up for you and put that in the comments. So the title does represent the type of planner it is. So again, this is for my meetings planner, or I guess meetings journal as they're calling it. And then the other 2 that I have here is fitness and budget. So I think I'm going to start with the budget one here first, because this one I think of anything, I'm most excited about this little budget planner. My budget planning has definitely been on a crazy journey this year. I'll get more into that later on. Things are definitely changing for my budgeting system. In fact, things have already changed from what I was using mid-year. I know I haven't posted an update in a while with that, but budgeting has definitely changed since the middle of the year. And it's definitely a whole learning experience. Again, I'll explain why I changed it and what I'm actually using, but this journal is going to be part of my new budgeting system here. So jumping into it, again, it's the same type of material, that laminated cardstock in here. And when you open it up, it's going to tell you, again, the type of journal that you have, and then here, your name, or a place to put your name. Now, it doesn't tell you like what you can use this budget journal for, like it does the meeting notes. In fact, I don't even know, does it say that with the smaller one? Let's see. Oh yeah, it does for this one. I'm just going to check now because it's going to bug me. Oh, wellness says it. So for some reason, budget doesn't get it. But again, pretty much everything else is the same. So it'll say budget journal, track and achieve your financial goals. Now, before I flip into it, I do want to make a note that Plum Paper actually sells budget planners. I believe there's 3 different versions, and they all have a very unique style to them, in that it depends on what you're looking to track for your budget. And for me, I did look at those to see if I was going to actually utilize all of the space within their budget planners. The one that really caught my eye was the Ultimate Budget Planner, which I'll link that down below because I do think it looks really awesome. But I don't necessarily need an entire 12-month planner and to track all of those details paper, because most of my budgeting is now digital. So I guess a heads up with that. Most of it is digital, but I do still need something that's paper version to keep track of on a daily basis. Okay, so let's jump into this layout. Again, it's going to be different from their budget planners, or I should say a little different. I did notice some similarities between them. So this first page you get to says budget journal guide, how to use this journal. It says 1, understand the goal of your budget. 2, track your spending. And 3, use the 50-30-20 rule. Personally, for me, it kind of follows what I already do for budgeting. So my first step is my why. So why am I budgeting? Then there's a couple of steps in between here before I get to the whole how am I going to actually track my spending. The 50-30-20 rule, I actually don't use that. I have a different budgeting system here, but I think that's a great option if you're just jumping into budgeting, trying to figure out where to spend, save, and it actually gives you a breakdown of what that means for 50, 30, and 20%. So again, if you're new to budgeting, you want to try something new out, this is a great way to start. So the other thing that I'll note on here is that this particular color scheme is a really pretty dark blue. So I think you can see it already on this page here. Yes, so the icon is this darker blue. So you have like a mix of blues and grays in here. Absolutely love that. Super happy that it's one of these muted colors that are in here. And then the other thing I wanted to make a note of, like it says here, 6 months at a glance. This is a 6-month journal. I decided to only get one of these right now. If I end up using this for the entire 6 months, I will definitely want to order another one, but let's just do one at a time to see how this works out. Okay, looking at this page here, again, 6 months at a glance, I can put the year at the top, and then it has 6 areas for me to track the following categories: income, expenses, giving, savings, debt, and then an optional one. And that's all for each month. So essentially, however my budget turns out, I'll come back to this page and track that information. And then at the bottom, I have a space to put goals for these 6 months and then goals for the next 6 months. I think that's really awesome. It doesn't look like a lot of space, but you can definitely put something there to help motivate you as far as what your goals are for budgeting. So now we're going to start looking at the monthly budget breakdown here. Up at the top, you have a space to put the month, monthly income, and monthly budget. So your income is the money that is coming in, and your monthly budget is essentially how much money you have to work with here. The next 2 areas here are for your checking account information and savings account information, where you can track how much you're starting with, ending with, and your net gain or loss. Below that, you have 2 other areas for your debt goal and your saving goals, where you can put your debt payoff goal and how much you actually paid off towards your debt. For savings, you can put your savings goal and how much you actually saved here. This I really, really love. So even though there's not really a good space to track how much you're saving or how much you're paying off toward debt, like I'm used to, I do like that it's just a really easy overview of that information. Now, right below that, you're going to get notable expenses to plan for. So this could include anything such as coming from your categories, such as bills, utilities could be another one. It could also be your debt payments. Maybe there's a holiday coming up or birthday coming up and you know you need to spend that money. Or let's say car insurance is coming out and you're going to pay it for the entire 6-month or year period. However you do that. Those are just some examples that you can place here where you have a space for your date, description, and the amount that goes here. At the very bottom of this page, it says savings goal for this month. And again, this can be really specific for just the season of life for that month. On the right-hand side, this is where you're going to put your fixed expenses. These include anything that normally stays the same from month to month. So that can include car payments, rent, mortgage, utilities, and you're going to put the date, description, and again, a column for the amount. This time at the bottom, you have a box to put the monthly expense total. Now, one of the things that's different here than what I'm used to is there's only one column for the amount. So my plan is to not pre-fill this in, but just to fill it in as I pay it, which is a little bit different. But the pre-budgeting part that I'm used to, so what am I budgeting for? That is probably going to go digitally. You can also switch this up. Let's say you want to do planning your budget here. So what do you budget for versus what do you actually spend? And so that's something that I still need to figure out. Do I want to do my budget in here or do I want to put the actual amount that we're spent in here? for that. But last thing here at the bottom, it says monthly income, fixed expenses, savings, and spending budget. This next page is pretty much going to continue for the next, let's see, I think you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. And that's going to include your weekly expenses. So here you'll put the week of, your spending budget, and then same 3 columns with your date, description, dollar amount. Down at the bottom, this time it says weekly expenses, and then in spending budget minus the weekly expenses will equal your ending balance. And I believe that's something that you can add over here onto the next page. So I love that it gives you 5 weeks worth, so 1 week for the month. But let's say you mess up or you want to continue over to another page and it's only a 4-month or 4-week month, then you can absolutely use that extra page for that as well. You probably won't even need to set it up for weekly if you just want to track it monthly, and so just keep it going here. You could possibly also split this up, so like maybe this is what comes out of your checking account versus this is what comes out of your saving account. Lots of ideas that can be thrown this way for it, but again, I'm just kind of putting some ideas out there in case you're looking at this and you're thinking this could work. I definitely see a lot of possibilities with this little notebook here. The last thing that you get for the month are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 notes pages, which I think is awesome because that means you can pretty much use these for whatever you want. They are line note pages, which could actually work out very well if you want to just draw a line down the middle and then maybe create columns here to write some items down. You can even place stickers here if you use budgeting stickers, and that can help with keeping track of other areas of your budget. Or you can even use this just to kind of write a note for maybe what you ended up buying and if you maybe need to return it, for example here. So you do get 6 months, and it's just going to repeat that way for each month in here. And then the back, there's nothing special. It's just the last few pages for that month that's here. Okay, sorry, that one took a long time, but again, I'm definitely really excited for this budget planner here. Okay, the last item that I got here, it says fitness on the cover, but this is actually the wellness journal from Plum paper in their layout. So here it's to track and achieve your wellness goals. So turning over to the first section, you're going to get a space to write your monthly wellness goals. There's a total of 6 spaces here for 6 months. This is another 6-month journal, and I only got one of these again just to try it out and make sure this was something that was going to actually work for my planning system. But each of these spots has these colored lines, or I guess you could say colored blocks here, that you can have a space to write in, along with some spaces with dotted lines as well. So that's kind of why it's a little harder to tell here. But again, this is going to be really nice to set up what your wellness goals are for each month. The next page is where we're going to start with the weekly wellness section. Across these 2 pages, you're going to have your weekly tracking system for the entire week. So all 7 days here. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday are split down here at the bottom. So the poor weekend, it gets split up again, but it's okay. There's still plenty of space here from what I can see as far as keeping track of what my wellness or my fitness goals are. Up at the top, you have week of, and then for each of the days, you're going to have 4 main areas. A place to put your physical activity, nutritional log, weigh-in for your target and actual, and then a tracker system for your physical wellness. So you have something for water for 8 ounces, sleep per hour, and steps 1,000. And I love these little icons. I don't know if you can tell, but for water, it's a little water droplet. For sleeping, a little crescent moon, and then for steps, a little footprint that you see here. So that'll be really nice. You can either color it in, or you can put like a little dot on top of each one. Maybe do a highlighter system so you can highlight starting here and then just drag it all the way over to where it needs to stop. Lots of different ways you can use these little tracker icons, but I really, really love how that looks there. Again, it's going to repeat for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the same style. Saturday and Sunday, again, it gets a little condensed. I would say, if anything, like the icons are much smaller. These colored boxes are a lot smaller as well, but I still like that there's this place there to put some information for the weekends. This is going to repeat for 5 weeks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And after that is when you'll jump into your monthly reflection or monthly wellness reflection here. So on this left hand page at the top, you're going to put the month. And then it says post month reflection to put your starting pounds, ending pounds, and your difference. Then this next section is for your physical activity reflection. And this is something that I thought was really unique, where you can kind of put how you felt about your physical activity in your dietary reflection. So let's say you had a really good month, eating healthy, drinking lots of water. You can kind of rate yourself there and put those notes next to it. Same thing with physical activity. Maybe let's say you sprained your ankle, you weren't able to do a lot of movement, but you tried something like that. And I bring that up because that's a true story. But let's say you can kind of put that rating here and then just kind of make a note. Why do you feel that was there? Down at the bottom, you have reflections for your water intake, sleeping habit, and steps, but you don't have a place to really write anything next to it. Lastly, in these sections are some reflection questions: what worked this month, what didn't work, things I can improve on, and steps to reach my improvements for them. So I would say there's just enough space here again, just to kind of put that reflection. Again, I did get the smaller version here. I'm sure the bigger sizes will have a lot more room if you need it, but I think that'll be plenty of space for me just to put a small reflection. And on the right-hand side, I have an entirely open space of these dotted line paper here. So I love that this one has dotted line. I wish the budget one also had dotted line as well, but it's just really nice to have a space after your month to really add additional notes to it as well. I don't really know what I'm going to add here just yet, but I definitely like the option that that's there for it. And then when you flip the page, you start over again. So you get your 5 weeks, same thing, monthly reflection, and this continues on for your entire 6-month period here. As far as what I'm going to be using this for, I do use a health tracking app now, but I do want to see that progress, not always on like my cell phone or on the computer, but I also want to see that progress in a space like this with a journal. And it's also going to tie into a spread, or I guess you could say a project that I'm doing to help with the year 2023. And that is going to include a little bit of Bujo planning, but I will talk a little bit more about that later as far as how this system will be used with that. But for now, the plan is to make sure I am doing a daily reflection, so tracking something daily, all in one space. You've probably seen here on my channel before is that I really like to keep things separate. I have definitely tried, especially like with my everyday catch-all planner, to put everything in there, from yearly goals to trackers to monthly plans, weekly plans, daily plans, just all in one catch-all system. And I find myself every once in a while saying like, no, it's got to be separate. So budget has always been separate. My goal setting system is separate as well. Work is separate. And I think what I'm going to do now is, instead of having fitness in my catch-all system where I kind of put on the daily, did I work out? Did I drink my water? I want an actual fitness journal. And this is definitely what my vision of that was, is to have trackers, spaces to add information, just very, very briefly, and then to have that space for notes that's there as well. So that's kind of my theme going into 2023, but I am going to start using these now to kind of get them set up here for my planner system. But again, I will post more about that in another video. But for now, that is everything for this planner haul from Plum Paper. The links for these items will be linked down in the description below. And again, if you would like $10 off your first Plum Paper order, make sure you use that link down below so I can send you that email for your first purchase. But that is everything for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed this, and if you did, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you like to keep items separate like this, or if you are all about putting that in one catch-all planner. I would love to kind of see your planning styles as well. But until then, I will see you all next time.